Hello.
Hello, gamers. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to City 17. Okay, there. Now you also have a viewers like you.
He can't say that around EAC. He's got the whole thing memorized.
That's right.
Now
he
we
does.
can say gamers because it turns out that we were lied to, and there is game in this visual novel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are no longer just nerds reading a book. We are doing some basic interactivity.
I regret to inform you that that is the end of the basic interactivity.
Oh.
What a shame!
There's nothing left.
Damn, I was hoping that they incorporated the fighting game into a section of this.
Oh yeah, it's just gonna cut to Ogon
be,
in a few seconds.
Like a fucking VN had like a fighting game attached to it.
You know,
You have to beat
There
the fighting
probably
game
is
to get
one.
the true end.
there might be one.
No, continues.
Oh, Blaze Blue.
Okay.
At any rate. Okay, so who the fuck pinged me? Oh.
What is that one visual novel about the robots and the time travel? It's
Manscaped?
big.
Steins Gate?
No. Giant robots.
Manscaped?
It's recent.
The PlayStation 4 exclusive game.
Yeah, the PlayStation 4.
Oh,
Detroit Become Human.
13 Sentinels.
13 Sentinels. Doesn't that have like a tactics element game in it?
It does.
I think that's got like a mech combat bit to it.
Mm-hmm.
it's very easy, very fun.
You see, there's a bunch of little enemies on there, and then you throw an attack at them, and then they all explode, and you get the dopamine
Sounds
for a little
fun.
bit, and then you get to
Those
learn.
little
it.
things are called
You just place down sentinels everywhere.
13
Mhm.
Sentinels is on my docket, in fact.
That's on my
Same.
personal docket because I bought it like the day it came out, and I've barely fucking touched it because I'm a dingus scringus.
I bought it, I consumed it within a week.
He's the Graggle.
You have
Well,
you have a much better attention span than I do for these things.
How is it in comparison to Umineko? Because I keep hearing people orgasm over this.
It is very good, and I will like Umineko. There's a certain feeling that you will never get back after you've completed it the first time.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, it's good. It's like 13 Sentinels. Anyways,
Today's sponsor is the Rats. The Rats.
I thought B does the sponsorships.
We're the Rats. We
Does B
play
have
at
a
night.
sponsor?
We stalk
Good
at
luck
night.
at night.
We're the Rats. I'm the giant rat that makes all of the rules.
No, you gotta do
Jesus
it deep.
Christ.
You gotta do it deep.
Let's see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves in.
I was doing my Erica voice.
Anyways,
the giant rat.
actually, today's sponsor is brought to you by the board game Mousetrap.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, that game's awesome.
Really quickly, test 1 2,
Oh.
test 1 2. Okay, cool. Everything is actually up, and people have been hearing my dulcet tones for the past few minutes. Let's just kind of go ahead and get the fuck into it.
I'm surprised I couldn't find any
As
like
soon as I
mousetrap
streamed
stuff
Discord,
on tabletop simulator. Maybe the physics are too complicated.
I had that game.
Anyway, last we left off, our favorite spider was back.
Sorry, that wasn't part of the bit. That was just me actually being happy.
You're allowed to be happy.
of course. Now then, let's get to it.
You forget me, and you call him the ruler of Rakenjima. You forget me and think Rudolph is the culprit.
It was the witch who had hidden inside of Ava, the witch of the future, who would one day call herself the Endless Witch after the cat box closed over this world.
Who forgets Ava Beatrice and calls themselves the murderer of Rakenjima? How impertinent! On this island, who lives and who dies is totally up to me. All the wealth and gold is mine. Everything about October 4th and 5th in 1986 is mine to do with as I please. It all belongs to me, Ava Beatrice.
Ava swung her one-winged staff at the crowd of foolish goats beneath her, proclaiming their deaths. The ceiling of spiderwebs that covered the heavens plummeted, and more spiderwebs seeped out of the ground at the goats' feet. Then the webs from above and below met, and thousands upon thousands of goats were caught up in their grasp.
My mom wants me really quickly. 1 second, sorry.
Oh,
AC, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, AC, get ready to put on the dress. Then, as Ava swung her staff, it swirled, around and around like egg yolk being mixed in a bowl. Eventually, it was all packed into a massive blood-red goo. The moans of goats drifted out from inside. That entire crowd had been compressed into a meatball a few meters across.
So you morons doubt that I'm the culprit?
Reaching the Ava culprit theory and giving up there is good enough for the likes of you.
If only you just get crushed and disappear!
Butchin. No other word could do that sound justice. After sucking in all of those goats, the spider web ball vanished into thin air with a squelch. Web ball. After that, there wasn't even a trace left. Fucking shut up. Stop saying bussin'. The dark rose garden lay there without any sound but that of the falling rain. Ava drifted down from the sky.
Your aunt will always be on your side, Auntie Chan. I'll never let anyone insult your family.
Oh yeah. Shit.
Put on the dress, Joshy.
Aunt Ava?
Oh yeah, you have to do the narration too.
Oh, fuck me!
Ready to do it?
Oh, man, I chose a
Andy.
bad time to do a big thing in FF14.
You mean while we were streaming? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
to be
like,
fair, Khan would normally be doing this, but When Khan's mom fucking pulls her away, I don't know how long that's gonna take.
You
Okay,
wanna-
I will attempt doing this while doing Angie's voice.
Here. You want me to do it? Like I can do it like a little girl
Or
voice,
Rindy.
technically. Or Rindy. Yeah.
I can commit to the bit.
I know
I
I,
can
should be
commit.
grateful.
I thought he fled for a second.
I can commit. I can commit. I knew I should be grateful.
There we go.
And yet, it really wasn't easy for me to believe that Aunt Ava was my ally.
Ava realized that too.
Don't worry. I'm not doing this because I want to be thanked. But I'll always be on your side. See you later.
She giggled, spun around, and vanished. Wow.
And now that she already left, I started to regret not saying thank you. So I figured I should at least thank the other person that had saved me.
I like to imagine that after the actual Angie like just kind of gets up and leaves, at the fucking point at like Canon wearing an Angie outfit, it'd be just playing FF14.
I'm really disappointed that I'm not hearing like a collection of clacks while he's doing Angie.
I'm surprised they get
No, you're not. It's not happening. I'm disappointed it's not happening.
No, oh fuck!
Well, apparently Angie's getting fucked by a boss or something. I don't know.
Thanks for saving me.
DDoS attacking.
More dots! More dots!
What?
What?
Who are
you?
you?
Don't know MMO lingo at all, do you?
Guys, come on.
No, I have not played.
Guys,
MMO.
come on.
Shut up, bitch! I already knew her name. What I was really asking was why she saved me.
I shaved you because I'm Fruito Erica, the detective. And I'm
Did you say
also a
shaved?
barber. Yeah, he almost said shaved. I'm Fruito Erica, the detective. And I'm also a witch. Okay, good.
Comes back. Okay, cool. Oh.
Gosh, he had to game while doing Angie.
A witch?
A witch of truth. One who searched for the single truth. And so are you, right? And so are you, right? I could have done that better, fuck.
This is Angie, right?
This is you, yes.
Those 2 days. October 4th and 5th, 1986. Been so desperate to know what happened that I took a step off the roof of that skyscraper, drifted through several witch games and fragment worlds, and abandoned myself this long journey with no rewards. All I want is to know what happened that day. All I want is the single truth of that day.
Searching for something like that is what makes you a witch of truth. So you're just the same as me. That's why I came to save you.
I want to know just what happened on that day. No one will tell me. No one knows. But I know something happened that day. I'd give up anything to learn what that was. That's the one thing I need to know no matter what, even if it kills me. So tell me. You know, don't you? You know what happened on this island, right?
Does a witch of truth expect to be given the truth? If I told you that so-and-so was the truth, would you really just accept whatever I said?
No, I wouldn't.
What did Battler-san show you today?
Today, Oni-chan showed me a bizarre Halloween party. interesting and a lot of fun, but it definitely wasn't the truth.
Didn't Butler-san show you something today and said it wasn't a truth? Sorry, before let me fucking do that again. That was. Yeah. Didn't Butler-san show you something and say it wasn't the truth?
It's not. That couldn't be the truth.
Sometimes other people will try to mislead us by claiming that they know the truth. But a real witch of truth must continue to pursue the single truth without being led astray. That's why you can't accept the fake truth that Butler-san's trying to force on you. You're finding the one real truth much more than anything.
Yeah. Oni-chan is trying to confuse me. I felt that this whole time. Even though he knows everything about what happened that day, he won't tell me anything at all. How is he any different from Aunt Ava? Who mocked me and refused to tell me anything, even until the very last moment of her death. Why won't Oni-chan tell me? Why? Why won't he tell me? The dam inside my heart burst. Why won't Oni-chan tell me what really happened? Why? Why? I'm the only one who doesn't know. No one's telling me the truth. Tell me. Tell me what happened that day, Oni-chan. Oni-chan! Cried up the rainy night sky. Hot tears poured from my eyes, but they were covered by the cold rain that beat against me, so no one other than me would know they were tears. No one would know my and sadness. I'm always the only one alone. All alone. Someone tell me! Tell me what happened that day!
No one can tell you. After all, you can only find the truth if you look for it yourself.
Where is the truth? How can I find it? Everyone's hiding it. They won't tell me. Find it myself. So please, just tell me where the truth is hidden.
Very well. I can tell you. This probably was not me, actually. You wanted to... Hold on a second. I think that was probably Burn. Do you want to do that really quickly, Con?
Very well. I can tell you.
There we go. This is probably back to modern day Andrew.
As that voice rang out, the world bent and swirled. After blinking several times, I realized that the world had become a sea of stars. No, that's not quite right. There are stars up there in the sky, but those lights below me aren't stars. They're lights from building windows, street lights, car lights. I was floating in the dark sky, over a city lined with skyscrapers.
I
can't tell you what the truth is. However, if it's a question of how the truth can be reached, I can show you the way. You. Various bad memories are jumping out at me from the back of my mind. That's right. I was chained in place in that strange theater and forced to watch a repulsive fragment where Mom and Dad committed murder. I never said that was the truth. But I heard you say it with the red. I'll say it for you that this is all truth. You yelled and interrupted, stopping me from saying any more. I was about to say that this is all truth isn't necessarily so. Just how far are you willing to go to mock me? I apologize. But I did want to test you. Test me how? I wanted to see if you were ready to accept the truth, no matter what it may be. The truth can betray you sometimes. In fact, there are times when it shows itself as the thing you desire least. That fragment I showed you was probably the worst one you could possibly imagine. Sorry, sister. However, if you lack the strength and the courage to withstand even something like that, then you aren't fit to reach the truth. I have no comeback. Finding the truth is my goal. I just wanted to know what happened on that island on that day. I don't like to think that I only want to hear what I want to hear. Am I really prepared to face the bloody, unbearable truth that probably awaits me? If I find the truth, it'll mean I'll have to look straight at my family's tragic final moments and accepting them as they are. And if I do accept that, it means abandoning my faint hope for a convenient miracle. The idea that one of them might have survived somehow, and might return, even though 12 years have passed. I know a miracle like that would be completely ridiculous. But if I'm honest with myself, I have to admit that I've been comforted by that faint hope these past 12 years. I want to know the truth. But I want one of them to come back. Those two wishes contradict each other. By learning the truth, I'll be forced to accept that no one's coming home. The truth is always cruel. At times, it can even cut down your hopes. Most of the time, humans don't realize the costs of learning the truth. I simply wanted to see if you had the necessary resolve.
I must choose between my two contradicting wishes. Will I find the truth and abandon my optimistic hopes for my family's return? Or will I give up on the truth and keep waiting for the family that will never really return for all eternity? Will I freeze up and let myself be fooled by the childish illusion my brother made up for me?
Tell me, Angie. Are you truly determined to learn the truth?
I am.
And your resolve will not falter?
It won't. After hearing my immediate reply, Berncastle stared at me. At those expressionless eyes of hers, measuring my resolve. Now that my brother is covering up the truth even after becoming game master. The only thing I can rely on in my search for the truth is the path that Berncastle can show me.
Deep in your eyes, I see the glint of one who seeks the truth.
Will you tell me? Will you show me the way that leads to the truth?
Yes. I'll guide you. Did you forget, Angie? I'm your guardian, right?
How long has it been since I last heard Berncastle use that word? Yes. I haven't heard it since the very beginning. When I met her in this future world and became a witch, and I didn't get to finish reading that last part of the sentence. With her as my guardian. That's when I became the Beatrice of 1998, the one who could defeat the Beatrice of 1986.
You are the Beatrice of 1998. Angie Beatrice. I became your guardian and recognized you as a witch. However, you aren't an endless witch like Beato.
A witch of truth.
That's right. You're like Erica. A witch of truth who will seek the single truth, undeceived by any illusions.
I guess the witch of truth. Angie Beatrice has the power to reach the single truth.
Yes. However, up until now you have been able to use this power. Do you know why?
I do now. Even though I search for the truth, I unconsciously resisted learning the truth.
Exactly. Finding the truth was your goal. But at the same time, you were unconsciously afraid that learning the truth would mean losing that miracle of your family coming back. So, You didn't have what it took to stretch your hand out to the single truth. You're completely right. I have to admit that I was naive. I must admit it. My entire family is dead. Now that I've acknowledged it, I must expose why they died and who was behind it. Thanks. The fragment you showed me in that dark theater was there to open my eyes.
Many, many games have gone by, waiting for you to become a true witch of truth. But I think there was a purpose to it all. After all, now in this final game, you really have become a witch of truth.
Tell me, what happened on that island that day? I won't ask you to tell me directly. So, guide me. What can I do to reach the truth?
It's a bit too chilly here. Let's move.
To where?
To a place better for drinking tea.
A massive applause filled the hall. It was an applause in honor of a good fight. An applause in honor of Burncastle.
Yes, Lady Burncastle's game was another splendid one.
We're gonna reveal her game board to everyone here. So have a go at it. It's pretty awesome.
But you solved it in the end all the same.
A game that no one can solve isn't a game.
Oh geez, I gotta turn down a little bit.
Whoa, little reverb.
Oh,
Alright, you're good, There we go.
sorry. The main point was whether it was fun or not.
It's fun. I guarantee it's quality.
Same here. There was no way or anyone could solve it. The way you can use one confirmed purple statement after another to narrow down the suspects made for a great puzzle.
Come everyone, gather, gather!
Time to play everybody's favorite game. Did Rindy pass out?
Ready? Ready? Here you go.
I think the answer is yes.
Should I try to call her one time?
It's up to you.
I mean, she probably doesn't want to miss us.
I will
Fair
make
enough.
an attempt. I will be right back.
Oh no.
Not
One moment.
Here, Randy.
Oh.
Here, girl.
No, not oh no, that. Oh no, I think my nephew's running around without his diaper on.
Oh god.
Okay, fun time. We're having a party, guys. We're having a party over here.
Welcome to the Hell House.
Can we order security to DDT that child without their diaper?
I think she might be dead, guys.
Okay.
Oh
Oh, wait.
What?
There we go.
Phone calls for the win.
Huh? What?
Morning,
Rindy's
Rindy.
alive.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Just wanted to think. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
So what sort of game is Lady Brandcastle's mystery?
Oh, I thought you said bone calls. I got very.
That's for you too?
Find out for yourselves!
Objects resembling chessboards were set out on several tables. Crowds gathered around each, looking down with interest.
Ho! It's like a logic puzzle. Quite an unorthodox one, don't you think?
I think it's quite orthodox, thank you.
So, this is what the witch's game is like.
A witch's game is like.
A witch's game is like.
It's
Fuck.
okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Khan's dead again.
Wendy.
What? No, this isn't Rindy.
Yeah,
this
fuck
would be
off.
this would be normally.
Yeah.
All right, people, get back in the dress. Let's do it.
Hello,
How many
Eviora.
times can I say,
Oh, sorry.
Looking at it like this, it's just a game. But for the pieces, it's a massive series of crimes.
Indeed it is.
It would not do to waste such a rare gift from Lady Brandcastle. Let us take this opportunity to enjoy ourselves. Still, this is a tough one.
Just want to say really quickly. Hi there, Evoria. Evoria00. I'm probably saying that wrong. Thank you for stopping by. Consider following. You may be very appreciated.
It almost makes you wonder if it was made to be solvable, doesn't it?
If you don't start believing that it's made to be solvable, you won't get anywhere.
Eviora, there we go.
A battle of wits doesn't begin until you trust the questioner and believe that it can be solved.
And we guarantee that it is. Come on, have a go at! Sounds good. With Balor's encouragement, discussions over Burncastle's mystery game began at each table. The mix of humans and illusions and heated battle and heated debate was truly a sight to behold. Theoto and Burncastle sat in the chair far off from the discussions.
Would you like some tea?
Any kind of calming black tea for me. Sorry, I forgot.
Nah, you're good, Zoogie.
With milk, if you don't mind.
As you wish. Is there anything you need, Lady Burncastle?
Please add some dried plums to some black tea. That's a trick to making terrible tea drinkable.
Come now, don't sulk. We're honestly complimenting your game for being such a fun one.
Beata, who had emerged victorious in the game Burncastle had put all of her heart into, was in extremely high spirits.
I'm not sulking. My face just looks this way.
When I managed to spot Burn's own kind of warmth in that expression, I felt like I climbed the pitch-black top of a snowy mountain to find a beautiful star.
Well, sorry for having an eternally frosty face.
How difficult it is to compliment Lady Burncastle. No matter what you say, she always takes it in a bad way.
That's okay.
She's the type who'll keep thinking about it for hours later on. The type who lies in bed relishing it while hugging her pillow. Yep, that's Baron for you.
Beato and Landadel giggled together. Berncastle shrugged and looked away. Seriously, though, that really was a fun game with a twist.
You think so? Thank you.
You could have made it unsolvable. You still made it to be solved. You couldn't have done this. You couldn't have done that unless you planned on playing fair and enjoying the game.
I like games where I win no matter what. Games that I might lose are just a pain.
Later, I'd like to switch sides and try another one. I'll make a puzzle and we'll see if you can solve it. A game for you to win against me. Of course, I'll use all the know-how I've picked up in my fights with Beato to make it super hard. I'm not giving up at my winning streak that easily.
Both you and Beato have such an interesting way of thinking.
How's that?
A game just means to decide who wins and who loses, right? When you create one, your own victory should be your highest priority. So why would you go all the trouble of making a game you might lose?
What fun is there in a game you always win? That's not even a game. Victory and defeat. It's fun because you're taking part in a fair competition. Balance between those two outcomes. A game isn't a fight. It's communication. You have to enjoy the means. And if you manage to win in the end, well, that's just an added bonus.
Finally. Finally, I clearly understand the difference between how all of you think and how I think.
What do you mean?
For you, this is communication. It isn't for me.
The world you live in must be pretty savage.
And what about you? Was it the same for you until you understood Beato's game? An eternal game is eternal torture. Have you already completely forgotten about that pain you suffered?
There were days I did think that. But now it's all been resolved. I won't complain about stuff that's happened in the past. I'm impartial, you might say.
That is the critical difference between you and me, I think. Your eternal torture was something you could laugh off and forget. Mine wasn't nearly so trivial. That's all there is to it.
I don't know your history. Sounds like you had it rough.
To think I'm getting sympathy from a mere former piece. I must be getting old.
Berncastle, sipping the black tea that Genji had brought her, gazed up at the ceiling with a faraway look. Battleman may not have known her history, but even he was able to understand a bit of how she felt. Are you being tortured by someone right now?
Are you kidding? I'm as free as can be. I'm not bound by anyone's shackles.
And that's a good thing, isn't it? Those things are better for you now.
True. It's much better now than it once was. Though I am on a long, endless journey to escape from boredom.
Then, at the very least, us meeting here should have been a good thing for you.
Indeed. Even the taste of defeat can keep my boredom at bay somewhat. Mm-hmm.
No. Bradley shook his head and laughed. We're friends who have enjoyed fighting in a fair game.
So?
If your days are filled with nothing but running away from boredom, feel free to drop by our place every now and then. We'd love to welcome a friend. We'll be able to set up everything needed to help a friend escape from boredom.
You think you'd prepare a welcome interesting enough to help me, the great Burncastle, escape boredom for even a single night?
I do. That's what it means to be a friend. We won tonight's game. So the next time you come, we'll switch sides. This time I'll entertain you with one of our games. Of course, we don't intend for you to let you win that easily. We'll challenge you to a devilishly twisted logic game. It won't be something you can solve in a night. It'll be good enough to make you stay for months, racking your brain over it.
You would entertain me, the great Burncastle, as a friend?
Yes. Yeah, we would.
After talking with you, even this dried plum tea is starting to taste sickly sweet. What a pain.
I heard from Beato. Sounds like this dried plum tea stuff is one of your favorites. Next time we'll throw in some high-class dried plums covered in gold leaf. Make sure you come again.
If you really plan to do that, try finding some better tea to start with. I'll never feel like Emmy again if you keep serving tea like this.
Come on. I guess the tea you're used to drinking is pretty damn high class. Next time, why don't you invite us somewhere we can drink some of that?
Me? Invite you over?
It's only fair, right? We treated you. Now it's your turn.
Yes, it would only be fair.
So, let's have the game be fair too. Let's switch sides and start a new game. I'm looking forward to it. We won this time, but who knows about the next?
That's some confidence you have there. And yet, I'm afraid you're mistaken on one point.
What's that?
My game isn't over yet. I wonder who will win in the end.
After taking one more sip of her black tea, Burncastle set her cup on the table wearing a thin smile.
The tea here is far too sweet. It was a mistake to have any. Thank you, Genji. Take this away, please.
As you wish. Burncastle asked for her tea to be taken away after only taking 2 sips. Badler smiled, realizing this was just Burn's way of being shy.
Battler, why are you smiling with such a foolish, optimistic face? If you really think this final game will be nothing but a happy epilogue, then I'll have to invite you all to a proper game for bringing this tale to a close. Battler, you forget too easily. Don't you remember in whose hands lie the key to this final game?
Angie. 18 Angie, yeah.
Josh, it's time to put back on the dress.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The inside of my nose itched. I never regained consciousness to a small smell before. Slowly, I opened my eyes. Wait, when did I lose consciousness in the first place? I don't remember going to sleep or falling unconscious. That's right. Burncastle invited me to come to a place better for drinking tea. That's when my memory gets hazy. And since the smell of black tea is what woke me up, where am I?
Our Aurora study. I hate to admit it, but her taste in tea really is excellent.
I was sitting on what appeared to be a soft sofa in a dimly lit study. Burncastle sat across from me. And right before my eyes was a beautiful cup filled with hot, steaming tea. Isn't this place... I remembered. I've been here before. Wasn't it?
How pleasant it is to see you again, child of man.
Yes, that voice. Just hearing it brings back memories. Long time no see. My master.
I didn't think I'd get the chance to welcome you into my study again. To think that that game of yours is still continuing.
It won't be continuing much longer. This is the end. The true final game.
This was a study of Feather and Augustus Aurora, the majestic witch of theater going, drama, and spectating.
Months in the past, I was summoned by her in order to be her reader, her Miko. Don't tell me you want me to read again.
I wasn't the one who called you here. My Miko brought the two of us together.
Why?
Isn't it obvious? To show you the path that leads to the truth.
You'll show me the way, Featherin.
Well, I am the witch of theater going. Though I dislike interfering with the actors on the stage.
So, would you rather watch Ballard's boring play? Or my exciting one that manipulates the branching paths of fate? I know you can't stand even a minute of boredom.
Is this me, or...
As Featherin rocked her rocking chair, she looked up at the ceiling and chuckled. This is you. Oops.
She clearly holds some key to the truth I seek.
And yet, you are literally the one holding the key. I can do nothing but tell you where to find the keyhole, child of man.
I don't remember saying anything out loud, but Featherin answered my question as though I had. Come to think of it, that's right. Hetherin can read the thoughts of a mere child of man like me as easily as she can hear my speech. Well, I guess that'll help us get to the point quicker. Oni-chan did give me this key. But then he just said something about how I know how to use it when the time came. He didn't say a word about what it was used for. Do you two know? What is this key for? Oni-chan said it was something very precious.
Explain, my Miko.
No way. You explain.
You demand that your master explain?
You've got to go on stage every now and then. Otherwise you'll just get seen all the faster.
Ada. And yet, I just enjoyed some long overdue time on the stage when Angie was reader, which should last me several centuries at least.
Tell me, what is this key?
A physical manifestation of the decision you're to make. This tale, this game, will end when you are asked to make a certain decision. What you hold there is the act of your decision embodied in the form of a key.
A physical manifestation of my decision.
Exactly. Butler was probably planning to end it by putting you in front of two doors, both of which can be opened by that key. Then he would ask you to choose which door to open. He must have told you that much, right?
He didn't tell me anything at all. He just kept saying things like, "You'll know when the time comes." No one will tell me anything. Not Oni-chan, not anyone.
Battler probably wants to respect your right to make a decision of your own free will.
But Angie, you should have at least started to figure it out by now, right?
Figure out what?
There's an answer Butler wants you to choose, isn't there?
Oh, fuck. Those words made my heart jump in my chest. It was what I had been thinking. Oni-chan is clearly trying to trick me with a vague tale, almost like a daydream. That'll take me even further away from the truth. At the 1986 family conference, everyone had a wonderful time as they faded away. Everyone is smiling down on you from heaven. So you don't need to feel alone, even in 1998. So give it your all and live on by yourself. I've clearly sensed Oni-chan's desire to end it like that. Every time I ask him about it, he dodges the issue and says something about how the decision will be mine in the end.
That's right. It may appear as though Butler is giving you a fair choice, but he's actually scheming to get you to choose a certain one of those two answers. You've already seen the farce of fatalities you don't do that, right?
That bizarre Halloween party. With everyone acting so strange and friendly that it was almost sickening. I've already seen more than enough of that tale. So sickly sweet it makes me want to vomit. Where Shiramiya Kinzo showered me with affection. Where his children swore to support each other. Where everyone was filled with happiness and hope. He's trying to trick me with those chummy scenes, so he can keep me away from the truth. He's such a coward.
True, it might be easy to call him a coward from your perspective. But remember, if you're a player in this game, and if Battler is the game master, what does that imply?
In the past, Butler was a player and Beato was the game master. And they each fought for their own respective truths. So, what's happening this time?
I am a player, and Oni-chan's the game master. Could it be that I've misunderstood everything from the very beginning? Oni-chan said that he'd tell me what happened on that day. So I assumed that following him meant I'd learn everything. Isn't that the same as, say, Oni-chan accepting everything Beto said about the crimes being committed by a witch? What a stupid mistake I've been making. So, this game has always been a fight between me and Oni-chan.
I'm surprised you joined in without realizing that.
Butler really is sly. He clearly started up the final game without letting you realize that simple fact. Well, it was the same back in Beato's games. Butler was drawn into her game before he knew what was happening. Before he even knew how to fight. That's why I taught him how. And now it's exactly the same. You were forced to start this game before you understood anything about it. And I've come to tell you the truth. To tell you who you're fighting against, and for what.
I was too shocked to speak. Finally, I realized what I needed to accomplish in this game. I've always been passive. I was sure that Oni-chan would tell me everything. So I naively thought I just had to believe whatever he said. I was wrong. That's not what this is. This is a battle between me, the one who wants to reach the truth, and Oni-chan, who wants to trick me and chase me into 1998, where I am alone. All this time, I've kept on saying that Oni-chan was foolish and naive. And now I see that I am more naive than anyone else. And yet, Burncastle didn't sneer at me. On the contrary, she looked at me with that cold gaze, as if to say, "So, you've finally taken your first steps."
Now do you understand your own purpose? And the purpose of that key?
I gripped the key Oni-chan had hung around my neck. And for a while, I shook with an emotion that even I couldn't understand. Now that I know Oni-chan tricked me, it would be easy to hate him. But hating him would be missing the point. After all, this is a game between me and him. Oni-chan has done nothing but make the optimal moves for winning against me. If games aren't a playful way to communicate, if they're the process that decides who wins and who loses, then there can be no fair games. The best strategy is always to trick your enemy into defeat without telling them the rules, before they even know what's going on. In that sense, Oni-chan hasn't done anything wrong. He's using that sickly sweet illusion to trick me and forcing me into a lonely future. They'll be the only ones having a good time in the cat box, and I'll be the only one chased out. Thank you. I'm grateful. I think I've finally been able to truly open my eyes.
Please, don't hate Adler. After all, one-sidedly treating your opponent is what game masters do.
I know. Oni-chan took the best option from his perspective. That's all there is to it. So, I need to make the best possible moves from my perspective. My goal is now clear. October 4th and 5th, 1986. What happened on Rokkenjima in those days? I need to tear off the veil covering the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. And Oni-chan gave me this key. Probably because he wants me to put it into the keyhole of his choosing. That's why he keeps showing me this sentimental illusion. But I won't be fooled anymore. I'll open the door I want to open.
Certainly. This kind of tale is more to my liking than the one where Angie does whatever Battler says.
In this game, I'll let you run the... Then this time, I'll let you run the show from here on out. Tell Angie. Tell her where the keyhole that leads to the truth is.
Tell me. Where's the keyhole?
Very well. First off, have a seat. I'll go and get it for you.
When Featherin rose from her rocking chair, my vision seemed to twist and bend. What is this? Some kind of interference? Why now, when Featherin's about to show me something important? Why is my head getting suddenly... I dug my fingernails into my knees, clenching my teeth to keep from losing consciousness. However, the world just kept twisting more and more. Except for the feel of the sofa beneath me, I couldn't sense anything at all.
So, oh yeah, it's Jelly. It's Jelly, that's right. Yeah.
I'm back.
All right.
Oh wow,
Good.
Con-
Oh, wow, holy shit, wow, great timing.
Just in time for all of Angie's lines to be over.
Just in time for Dante.
yeah, you are going to want to catch up on that vodka.
I never want kids.
Yes, did you smite your nephew, Con?
No,
Well-
my parents are helping out with that.
Well,
They're
is my mic
helping
quality
smite
good today, or
You sound
is it
good.
Your mic is fine.
Okay.
I'm just exhausted.
Lady.
Huh?
Looks like they arrived.
The door opened, and Hachijo Toya. What's going on? This isn't the world of witches, but the world of humans. I was sitting on a sofa, and Amakusa was behind me. There's no need to feel confused. Featherin and Hachijo Toya are the same being. To her, the difference between the two worlds is a trivial thing. To put it in the words of that theater lover, it's like having a slightly different background behind the stage. So, there was no reason for me to feel hesitant. Should I call you Madame Hachijo this time?
How complicated names are. Even though both of us are still here, just like before. You have to wonder what to call me.
True. Calling you Featherin would be a bit rude, you know. For an actor, the name of the role they act in is only temporary.
Precisely, child of man.
Featherin.
Moxa's eyes went wide as he wondered what I was suddenly talking about. I ignored him and continued. So, what are you going to show me? As I spoke, my eyes were caught by that heavy-looking object she held under her arm. I glance, it looked like an encyclopedia with a fancy binding.
Do you know what this is?
As Featherin spoke, she set the heavy object on the table. The first thing it reminded me of was a grimoire. The heavy book had a mysterious, mystical feel to it, like something Mario Nechan might carry around. And the most remarkable feature of it was the large, sturdy lock that held it shut. Why would someone go so far to keep people from reading a book?
Why don't you take it and observe the back?
The back? I flipped the heavy book over on my lap. And as soon as I saw it, I gave a small gasp. Ava. Ushiromiya. Ushiromiya Ava. Without a doubt, those words were written there in Roman characters. What is this? Aunt Ava's diary?
This be that rumored.
Do you know something about this?
Just a rumor. They say that President Ava had a secret diary, and she always kept it locked up. They say they say she took it with her everywhere she went. At least that's what I heard from some of her other bodyguards.
A secret diary. Why is that here?
It was in the hospital room where Ushiromiya Eva passed away.
This diary was behind her bed. So it remained in that room for some time after her death before it was found. And by coincidence, it was probably found by someone who worked for the hospital, or else a patient or their family. Of course, by that time, there was a huge movement dedicated to the Rokenjima mystery. A locked diary they found in the hospital room where Shinomiya Eva spent her last moments would be absolutely priceless. The discoverer probably handed over in secret to one of the witch hunters who would be able to accurately determine its worth. Luckily, the witch hunters who got their hands on this book were all noble and upright people. Not content to boorishly destroy the lock and reveal the truth. They simply satisfied themselves with the fact that the truth of that day slumbered just on the other side of this mysterious lock. Thanks to that, Ava's diary has remained undamaged to this very day.
It's already known that Natsui, wife of Cross, the oldest son of Kenzo, sealed up all her complaints and repressed feelings by writing them down in a diary, which she treated like some sort of charm.
So Aunt Eva did the same thing?
Yeah, it's possible, at least. Open up a diary like that would be a pain, even if you did have a key. It's sealed up tight like a corset.
What?
I don't know.
Amakusa was right. This wasn't a diary made to be casually opened and reminisced over. It's probably safe to assume that she used this diary to forget things by writing them down and sealing them away, just like Ushirumi and Natsuhi did. Then she brought it with her into their hospital room and hid it behind the bed without telling anyone about it. Don't tell me that diary is... Are you saying Aunt Ava wrote down what happened that day?
By reading its contents, you'll probably learn everything. However, we don't know where the key that unlocks it is.
I jumped. Then, I looked down at my chest. That's where my brother hung that key. Huh? It's gone! The key's gone!
What's wrong, lady? What key?
It's been hanging from my neck the whole time, hasn't it?
I never noticed it. You had a key hanging from your neck.
I understood almost immediately. In the world of humans, I haven't found the key. The me with the key is on the game board in the world of witches. Make me the me with the key. I'm going to unlock this diary. Featherin lifted a finger, spun it around, and the world twisted again. When I returned to Featherin's study, the key popped back into existence, hanging from my neck. But at the same time, the diary on my lap popped out of existence. Where'd the diary go?
It should exist somewhere on the game board. Since it is one of the keyholes you're to be given, it must exist.
Did Oni-chan hide it somewhere? Since Battler wants this game to be between you and him, it probably isn't hidden completely. What do you mean?
Even if Battler thinks the diary is a king he mustn't lose. There would be no game unless it exists somewhere on this board.
In other words, it's somewhere in the Ushirimiya mansion.
Or you may have already been given an opportunity to witness it. Like how a swindler has already hidden a trap in the microscopic letters on the first page of the contract you sign.
If Battler allows the customs of the mystery genre as the game master, clues must be shown, so the choice that leads to Battler's defeat must have been shown. Angie, try and remember. You should have seen Ava's diary in Battler's world already. In that instant, from the back of my mind, drifted the very first scene of this final game. In the chapel. A book was lying on the altar. A book with a lock on it. As soon as I showed interest in that book, my brother suddenly grew stern and told me not to touch it. That was on Ava's diary.
That's right. Ushiramiya Ava's diary. The book of the single truth, with the truth of that day written inside it.
The book of the single truth. Is the truth really inside it? After all, there's a chance it's just something on Ava.
I'll say it in red. Ushiramiya Eva's diary, the book of the single truth, has written within it the truth of Rokenjima during October 4th and 5th, 1986.
God, love this song so much.
Oh god, it's so good!
It's a really lovely piano melody.
Good shit.
Did you hear the lyrics version?
God.
Ugh.
I'm guessing the lyrics have spoilers.
I mean, the lyrics.
What?
The lyrics version doesn't show up until I think Saku actually.
I don't know if lyrics would tend to have spoilers.
I was just gonna guess.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, keep it going. The discussions over Burn Castle's reasoning game were getting passionate at each of the tables. At some point, each table had started competing to see which could solve it first. Burn Castle. Haven't Angie and Erica arrived yet?
They should have been here by now. Want to make a bet on who arrives first?
I can understand Erica being late, but what about Angie? Just what kind of pit did you toss her into this time?
How rude. She's sitting on a sofa sipping tea. Hopefully the sort of tea you drink suits Angie's tastes.
Yeah, good point.
How rude. That tea would suit anyone's tastes. Erica would even lick the last drop of my tea from the bottom of a miso pot.
Now part of me's dying to ask how miso comes into the picture.
Still, it's Erica. This will be a long-awaited reunion.
That's right. Come to think of it. Can't wait to see how long it'll take her to solve Burn Castle's game.
This sort of game is what that kid's best at. She'll probably read it from start to finish 3 times, then just say the answer right away.
Probably. Look forward to seeing her give the correct answer immediately, with that smug look on her face.
Come now, this is Erica we're talking about. She'll probably pull out some twisted logic and say it was possible with someone other than Battler's family.
Good point. In fact, I'd like to hear her proud, twisted logic even more than the right answer. Apparently, Battler and Beto were looking forward to their reunion with Erica. They had already dueled with Erica in 2 separate games, but now there was no distinction between foes and allies. They truly wanted to welcome her to this party after the show as a friend.
Still, it's a bit unexpected.
What is?
You know. It's surprising that you let Angie go this easily.
Making sure that Battler and the others couldn't see her face, The Delta snickered.
Nice save. Is
Listen.
it really surprising?
It's not even a bad word. It's just that I don't want Twitch to get the wrong idea.
No, I understand that completely. I'm just being genuine in Burn Castell's
I know.
voice.
Gotcha.
Nice save.
Thanks.
I already said the line.
Okay.
Of course it is. I thought that, being you'd torture Battler with one tough puzzle after another before releasing her. Or that you'd at least try to give Angie some weird ideas and have her turn the game around in the end. And I thought that is a weird line. And I thought I knew you better than anyone else in the world. It's so embarrassing that I was wrong.
I'm sure it is. But don't worry. You obviously do know me better than anyone else in the world.
Yeah, of course. After all, I love, adore, and understand you more than any other person in the universe.
Delta was flustered by Berncastle's apparently friendly words, which were very rare coming from her.
FF14 boy.
Angie, stop playing FF14.
I'm not playing FF14.
You're not getting.
I thought you said Angie too, to be
I
honest.
honestly thought you said Angie.
She did, because Joshua was playing Angie whenever Khan had to wrangle the child.
Oh, so he did put on the dress.
Yep.
Yep.
Battler Summer,
Then again, so did AC.
pardon me for interrupting your conversation. Angie Summer has returned.
Oh, she's back? Great! So, is she okay?
It seems that she was soaked by the rain, and Kumasawa is bringing her a towel now.
Thanks! Battler heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief. Then he turned to face Berncastle, showing her a forced smile as though apologizing for still suspecting her just a little. Berncastle showed no reaction, simply continued to wear a blank expression with a slight smile.
Speaking of grandmotherly towel noises, Angie-sama has returned.
I'm back.
Battler! Angie's back! Angie! I'm glad you're okay. I was worried. She stared at Battler as he dashed toward her with a relieved smile. Angie's expression seemed somehow indifferent.
That Battler. Looks like he thought I had you hanging by chains in a cave or something.
No. I don't think you go that far.
I was just having some tea at the house of one of Berncastel's friends. It was delicious.
Did it have dried plums or miso in it?
Of course not.
As Angie spoke bluntly, she walked right past her brother and exchanged a few whispered words with Berncastle.
What is it, Battler?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. If he said he was lonely because his little sister was being so cold, Vita would either laugh at him or scratch him. After all, Angie was a girl at that age. She might be in a bad mood for reasons a boy like him couldn't understand. Taking note of this, and having satisfied himself that Angie was okay, he made to walk away.
Battler. Angie is calling for you.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
I've been trying to get your attention for a while. Don't ignore me.
I wasn't really ignoring you. What's going on with you anyway? You looked like you were in a bad mood for a while now.
I imagine Burgestell gave her something strange to drink and pretended it was just some rare sort of black tea.
I have no business with you. Back off for a bit, would you? I want to talk to Oni-chan alone.
Come, I may not look it, but I am the wife of the territory lord. I'm already far closer to Battler than...
Sorry, Beata. Would you mind leaving for just a bit? By now, Battler realized that Angie's issue was more than just a slight bad mood. Beata puffed out her cheeks as though she wanted to say something more. However, she just let it out with a sigh and walked away. Is this okay?
It is. After all, this game is between me and you, right? I'm the player. You're the game master. No matter how many pieces get between us, in the end, it's still a direct battle between you and me.
Well, it's true that I'm the game master. It's not like I'm fighting against you or anything. This final game is held so you could be invited to the Rokkenjima of 1986.
Games are played to decide who wins and who loses. There can be no game unless you have foes and allies. Don't try to trick me.
What? What are you talking about all of a sudden?
You had me totally fooled. At first, I actually thought you'd taken me to that day in 1986. But that wasn't true. This has all been a farce you created, hasn't it? You're using the sentimental tale to dodge the issue and leave me confused. You're trying to chase me out into a lonely future with nothing but this cheap happiness as a parting gift. There's just one thing I've been after since the beginning. What happened on Rokkenjima that day? And the only answer you gave me was this game. This sentimental party of illusions. It's obvious how you're going to try and answer my question now. I want the truth. And you aren't going to give it to me.
Angie, listen, you got it wrong.
Don't try and trick me. This game is the final fight between me and you. I want the truth of that day. And you're trying to hide it behind an illusion. It's exactly the same. The setup is no different than those fights between you and Viato. I was about to be chased out of the game world with everything still vague and fuzzy because of you! Well, sorry, but I've already figured out that this game is a battle. Don't think you'll trick me so easily anymore.
Oh, there we go. My audio crashed for a second. My mistake. Whew, well, we didn't lose too much. Angie's shout tore apart the peaceful atmosphere. Family members and illusions gulped and watched the scene, wondering what was going on. Peter tried to run up to Battler, but he motioned for her to stay back. What is it you want?
There's only one thing I've ever wanted. The truth of Rokkenjima in 1986. That's all I'm looking for!
The truth is sealed within the cat box. It can't be reached by someone outside the cat box like you.
Is that why you're trying to trick me with a sentimental illusion?
Yes, this is an illusion. However, I wanted you to remember this fun atmosphere, the harmony within your family. Not about what happened on the island that day. I want you to remember the warmth of these family conferences, a warmth that you forgot.
That's just an illusion you're trying to impose on me! I'll reject it and deny it completely!
There is no truth of 1986. The cat box is empty inside. You're looking for something that doesn't exist.
I won't be tricked anymore. The truth of that day does exist. He was written down by the sole survivor and preserved this very day!
Rathel's expression faltered for just an instant, and Angie didn't miss it.
So he was hiding it after all. Oni-chan has been hiding the book with a single truth from me! Mondiva, for the first time since your death, I like to express my gratitude. Because you wrote down what happened that day. You gave me one last chance at learning the truth.
Angie-chan, you have to listen to me. Everything I wrote in that diary is nonsense, and it doesn't mean...
There's no point trying to deceive me. It's already been proven in red that your diary is the truth of that date.
Absurd. How could anyone but Battler the Game Master use the red truth?
It's our Aurora, isn't it?
That's right. The Book of the Single Truth exists in 1998. The world of the future. Who else could perform the crucial role of confirming its contents with the red truth?
I heard everything from Burn Castell. I've been fooled by you long enough. I don't want some sentimental illusion. I want the real truth. And no matter how hard you try to cover up in 1986, I can expose it in 1998. After all, you are the Beatrice of 1986, Oni-chan. And I am the Beatrice of 1998!
A cyclone rose up around Angie. It was a golden swirl of gold butterflies. It was like the golden witch, Beatrice.
I'm Angie Beatrice of 1998, the final Golden Witch. No witch of the past can defeat a witch of the future.
The cyclone of gold broke apart, and as gold leaves scattered across the room, the final witch, who would inherit Beatrice's name in the future, appeared. The song is Golden Nocturne, instrumental.
Angie Beatrice. You're the golden and endless witch. But I'm different. I'm the golden witch of truth. No illusion can stand in my way. Yes, this is the end of Oni-chan's boring party. Now it's time for my party to start. I've even ready the game to liven things up. You're up, Aunt Ava. Huh?
When Angie snapped her finger, she vanished along with a swirl of gold butterflies. Replacing her in the middle of that cyclone was a girl wearing a dress, bowing modestly. You!
That's pretty rude, you know. Inviting everyone to the party except me.
You're Ava.
The sole survivor of Rokenjima. And the Witch of the Future, the Golden and Endless Witch from 1986 to 1998. In the world of the future, Battle-kun's sentimental illusion is more fragile than a flake of snow on a lake. Okay, let's have some fun. Come, try to remember, all of you. Remember your endless theory-making.
When Ava held her hand to the heavens, light gathered there and took the form of a bottle. Yes, a bottle. A glass bottle with no label. There was no alcohol inside. Sealed within it was a fragment that let off a pale, sinister light.
Battler, this is bad. She must not smash that bottle.
Okay, it's showtime!
The bottle was slammed against the floor and smashed to pieces. As soon as the fragment within it touched the outside air, it flashed white and burst. At first, it seemed as though nothing had happened. However, Ava grinned at them before becoming a cloud of gold butterflies and vanishing. At some point, Burncastle must have vanished as well. What did she do?
It was probably a fragment she brought back with her from the world of the future. Perhaps we could call it the contents of the cat box in the future.
What does it all mean? What? At that moment, they heard a thundering roar. It was as though large chunks of hail had started falling everywhere. An earthquake accompanied that noise, and the whole mansion creaked. Dust began to fall from the ceiling. At the same time, it seemed as though the curtain-covered window glowed with a pale light.
What on earth is going on?
Kyrie, look outside. What the hell is that?
Everyone rushed to the window in response to her voice. Of course, Battler and Beato went too. Then they drew the curtains, looked at the scene outside, and were stunned into silence. Beautiful. Hinzo's words echoed the first impression felt by all who looked out the scene beyond the windows.
Not all beauty is benign.
Those are the beauty as thorns, yeah. Everyone found the scene beautiful. They all sensed impending misfortune from it. Outside the window, countless small objects, pale, glowing fragments of crystal, lay strewn about everywhere like fallen hail. The world of fantastical perfectly summed up the scene that lay before them in the glowing rose garden.
I saw something over there! Hey! Is there someone over there? Wait! Huh?
A person just grew out of that glowing fragment.
Josh.
It was muted. Fuck. I read that line and it was muted. Fuck. Seven Sisters of Purgatory. Formation.
That was roboted to crap, dude.
That was completely. Every single syllable was like completely bass boosted and unhearable. Holy shit!
Go again.
The fragment is affecting this code.
Come on, Frieza, go again.
Seven Sisters of Purgatory. Battle formation.
There you go. With those words of Lucifer's, everyone finally realized that they were being surrounded by danger. One by one, the countless fragments shook and burst, and large, dark bodies rose up from inside each. They were giants with goat heads. One after another, they appeared from the insides of the broken fragments. Those fragments lay all over the rose garden in vast numbers, and made the ground glow so that everyone inside was forced to shudder.
45 wide-angle surveillance area.
My radars fill with white. Were they being jammed, or the vast number of readings is making the code for enemy numbers impossible?
Even as she said this, the glowing rose garden outside the window was being filled with giant goats. The fragments carrying the goats weren't just in the rose garden. They were spread evenly across the entire island. Not just the rose garden, but the entire area around the mansion was being covered with goats by now.
Allow us to speak.
Now that we are completely surrounded.
Yeah, we noticed.
What'll you do now, Battler?
Only one thing to do with uninvited guests. Let's chase them off. Who are these people? Guessing these aren't your minions, right, Theodo?
The goat forms they hold are probably just imitations of the pieces on this game board.
Leon Risha's are Leo's minions. This is something worse.
I see. So they are a manifestation of message bottles.
Message bottles? The ones Beato made?
Not quite. These are fragments of what people in the future have imagined.
Endless possibilities are hidden within the cat box. Because of that, those outside the box can imagine the insides to be any one of an infinite number of things. It would seem those endless delusions are the true form of these creatures.
What will those goats do to us? I wonder.
Doesn't look like they're here to give us a handshake and a pat on the back.
Those people. Those lowlifes making up and passing around stories, imagining the tragedies that might have unfolded around us on this island. They found it so fascinating that I never talked about the truth. They kept on creating tragedies one after another for their own enjoyment.
I see. So, they're fragments from the future, imagining the cat box in 1986, however they please.
In the world of the future, any and all interpretations can and do exist. Unless we deny them, everyone will be able to claim their own view is the truth, and they will remain on this island. What a fix we're in!
Looks like we're surrounded and fighting for our lives.
You are.
What are they doing?
They're eating. They're eating something. They're eating the roses.
The crowd of goats were squirming about and doing something. If you looked closely, you could see them sticking their heads into rose bushes and munching away. And it wasn't just rose bushes. Light poles, the bricks of the flower beds, and even the stone paving itself. They were biting all of it. Almost as if they were trying to eat up the whole island.
No. They're just eating.
If they aren't eating, then what are they doing?
That is not eating. They're eroding it, shaving away the edges. The edges of the game board itself.
They're eating the game board?
In the world of the future, everyone believes we're swallowed up by tragedy today. That's why they won't accept the truth where we enjoy ourselves in peace. Truths of the past are subordinate to truths of the future. The merciless future fangs and jaws those goats refuse to accept our truth and are eroding it, replacing it with the kind of truth they expect.
Damn it! This is not our truth! Not for those people in the future who have nothing to do with us anyway, to rewrite as they please.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's a cool effect.
Oh god, I have to look away.
Damn.
The garden outside the window is now filled with too many goats to count, all chewing away. This repulsive scene stole the words from everyone's lips. They weren't stunned into silence. There was just no point in making a fuss and letting the goats know a certain fact. No point in letting them know there was plenty of prey waiting in this bright, warm room. Prey that was softer and easier to chew than roses or bricks.
Yeah, got it.
That goat right there, he's looking at me.
At us. Yes.
Silence. Do not make a fuss.
It's coming this way. Dear me, this did not look good.
Some of the newly born goats' heads slowly turned toward their window. There was already a huge swarm of them in the garden, so no surprise that when one of them looked around for new prey, it saw the light from this window. Its immense, eerie body slowly approached. As it grew closer, they could finally see it clearly. The eyes blazed despite being cold, ruthless, and reptilian. Those cruel fangs and jaws could tear apart and crush anything. Any fangs that could chew through brick would hardly have a problem chewing through humans. Its massive body had to be taller than the windows themselves, and it was lumbering towards this window. If only this window was made out of specially Shermia bulletproof glass.
I doubt even bulletproof glass would stop that thing.
It's coming, it's coming! It's running toward us!
Allow me to speak. Now that this window shall not be breached.
The power of Cornelius' seal formed a shielding around the glass. The goat was blown back, unable to even touch the glass because of this power. Its weight made the earth tremble. They could feel that clearly, even inside. But that tremor had also drawn the attention of the nearby goats. A pack of goats started shuffling toward them, and a fight broke out as they each charged forward, trying to reach this new prey first. The window protected by Cornelius' seal would probably be safe. However, there were many windows in the Great Hall. For the first time, those windows became a source of terror instead of sunlight, and a lovely view.
Trude.
Allow me to speak. Know that this window shall not be breached.
Gertrude sealed another window. The goats trying to break in through that one were thrown back. But at the same time, they heard the crash of yet another window being smashed, scattering fragments of glass everywhere. The massive goats broke through the window frame and entered the building.
Stay back! Everyone
Same deal, so Sim then...
On the
Root.
first twilight, the six, chosen by the king.
Those words really were coming from the goat's mouth, along with this steaming foul breath. However, it didn't even get a chance to say what it had to say anymore. Forehead, neck, shoulder, chest, side, gut, knee. The stakes of the Seven Sisters bury themselves in deep, one after another.
What? Sorry, it's fucking hard to read this goddamn text. Rough, unappetizing flesh to pierce.
I'd hate to have to gobble up any more of these.
The other windows shattered one after another, and several goats squeezed their way in through the window frames. Their mouths were still stuffed with the bricks they had just been snacking on. Each time they chewed, it made a ghastly sound, like bones being crushed.
We will repel them.
Yes, the troops, prepare for close quarters combat.
Ace.
Stop. You start firing away, we'll have all the other goats coming to join the party.
Let's fall back to the second floor. If we can see the staircase, that'll buy us some time.
Everyone, upstairs! Hurry! After sniffing noisily as though scanning the smell around them, the goats started chewing on whatever chairs, tables, or curtains that were close by. The goats would chew on anything to bits as long as it was near them. If the others were careful not to attract the goats' attention, they'd be able to escape from this place. The humans ran on ahead, up to the second floor whilst the illusions, who were used to fighting, guarded the rear. The goats were completely absorbed by their feast on everything in the hall. By now, they were even brutally chewing away at the portrait of Beatrice, which could fairly be called the symbol of the Ashurmia family itself.
But the humans have all taken refuge on the second floor.
Good. Delanor, seal all the staircases!
Gertrude and Cornelia will handle it. However, they need more time.
All over the mansion there were loud beating sounds that might be called knocks and the sounds of glass shattering.
Well now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for work. Seven Sisters of Purgatory right here! Oh god damn it, Discord. Let's go, you lowlives! Tonight is all you can eat!
Yes, the troops, halt all external tasks. Cancel automatic updates. Accept no data. Take no prisoners.
As an Jungfrau of the 7th District, by the Territory Lord's order, carry out your duty.
I will lend a hand. Leon, you're in the way. Go up to the second floor.
But Will...
Leave this to us and go. You have your own job to do. Protect your family.
I understand. Everyone, stay safe.
The mansion was filled with the sound of knocking, crushing, smashing, and chewing. The goats in their wave of destruction was drawing steadily closer.
Lord Battler, Gertrude and Cornelia have finished sealing the other staircases. The large staircase here is the only one that remains. Any other staircases are tiny, so they went fast. On the other hand, this staircase is huge. Looks like you'll have your hands full buying time.
Elta spoke as though there was someone else's problem. I took a glance at her face to see that she had no intention of lending a hand. Even so, Beato didn't scold her. This is a game between Battler and Angie. Elta was only a theater-goer who had been invited.
Don't think badly of me. Even I'd die if I was torn apart by nothingness. Sorry, but I think I'll stick to being observer.
That's what you've always been. Though it is a shame we can't ask for your help.
Nah, she's being nice. Doesn't want to steal our show.
Sure, let's call it that.
As a Voyager Witch, Elta could retreat from this game board for battlers if she wanted to. In other words, she was the only one who wasn't in trouble now.
See you later. I think I'll watch this game between you and Burn to the end. I'll be rooting for you.
As you munch on popcorn.
Of course. I think I'll have some soy sauce butter flavor today.
Elta vanished with a pop. As soon as she did, a black hole opened up in midair, and Gap fell out of it. Battler, Reish, could you come here for a second? You should probably see this. Right now? Yes.
Let's go. Everyone, we're counting on you to hold this position.
When Gap snapped her fingers, a larger hole opened up under Battler and Beata, swallowing them both. They were spat out into an inky blackness. Both of them were floating in the night sky, where Kenjima lay far beneath them. And as soon as they realized this, they shuddered.
This is...
It's not just a crowd. It's a sea! There's no longer a crowd of goats, but an entire sea of them. Just as Kenjima poked out from the ocean, the mansion was now poking out from a sea of goats. People in the future really are amazing. Just how many of them have imagined the tragedy on this island?
It's nothing more than the worthless dribble of those outside the cat box. Let's clean this place up.
Look over there. Hard to tell, but look at that shoreline. The shoreline? It's easy to make out the harbor. Look closely. See it?
Don't tell me.
Yeah, you're probably right. They're eating it. Eating the whole island.
Come, try and remember. Fragments from the future. If only we just chew up all the embellishment, all the illusions, all the fantasy.
As Ava yelled to the heavens, hovering above the raging sea, hail fell down with a pale glow. Each was an unlabeled bottle with a fragment inside. They poured onto the island, were smashed to bits, and the fragments inside them scattered everywhere. Every now and then, the fragments would split in two, and then split in two again, and every single one of them burst and gave birth to a massive goat. To say it was like bamboo shoots springing up after the rain would be a vast understatement. The goats writhed about like bubbling, boiling water in a pot. They ate away at everything they saw. They didn't just eat the harbor, but the trees and the rocks, the entire coastline itself. Tens of thousands of goats continued to eat. They were chewing away at every bit of Rokenjima, of this final game that Battler had prepared.
Oh, too bad, Battler-kun. The future wants a tragedy on this island. Even Angie wants the truth. Don't worry, we'll chew up all the embellishment, illusions, and fantasy for you.
By not balancing others had to admit, the future wanted a tragedy. Even if the truth of this island had been a gentle, peaceful thing, the future didn't want that. The truth they wanted was painting over the past.
The past is such a fragile thing. Even the cat box is being chewed apart.
Just who are these people? Are they so determined to plunge us into a tragedy? That's all I wanted to show you. Hope this helps a bit when you're making strategic decisions. Yeah, thanks. Now I feel like crap. Let's get on to the study next, if you don't mind. Goldsmith wants to talk to you. Gap snapped her fingers and another black hole swallowed them up and spat them out of the study.
Ow. Yeah, but you're gonna drop me. At least do it on a bed.
Grandfather, we're in trouble. There's absolutely nowhere left to go. I know. Even waiting out the storm from here is not an option.
None of the others should be able to buy us some time, but that's all.
If they just hold up in the mansion, it would only be a matter of time before the swarm of goats got them. Trying to repel a few of the goats barging into the mansion would be like using a cup to bail water from a boat with a hole in it.
We can fight defensively for a while, but it's only a matter of time.
We need to think of something while we fight. Can we escape? Where to? Is there any way for us to leave this game board?
The outside of the game board is beyond the range of our territory. Only a Voyager witch could leave.
Only Burncastle and Lambda Delta could do it. But there's no way Burncastle would help. Even Lambda Delta already announced that she would be an observer instead of lending a hand. So there's nowhere left to run. No. There's just one place. Where? The Golden Land.
I see. Is that our only option now?
Indeed. The Golden Land's the most impenetrable place on this game board. If you wish to escape, it's that or nothing. These things are eating the cat box itself. For all we know, they might start chewing away at the Golden Land itself at any moment.
What should we do, Battler?
No point thinking about it. We're retreating. If we take too long to make a decision, even that road will be closed to us. Evacuate everyone. I'll open the door to the Golden Land.
I just have to open it. However, an immense wave of the antimagic toxin is emanating from that crowd of goats. It will take some time to open the door.
So, we've only got to protect this study with our lives until that door opens. Just have to keep doing what we're doing until then. Nah.
There's one more problem. The door to the Golden Land cannot be shut unless two people close it from the outside.
Two from the outside? What do you mean? As soon as he said this, Battler realized it must be the result of some agreement made between the three witches who are one.
Normally there's no need to go to the trouble of shutting the door. But it won't be so easy this time.
Only Biedo can fulfill the role of shutting the door. He is the territory lord, and Biedo. Yeah, that was the safest choice.
Indeed. If it's just the two of us, we might even be able to protect ourselves.
Okay, open the door! Biedo waved her pipe, leaving a golden trail behind as she sliced the air vertically. And the gap of the door to the Golden Land appeared. There was nothing more than a thin golden string hanging from the ceiling. If you look closely, you can see that the string was getting thicker very slowly. The door to the Golden Land certainly was opening, but so slowly that you couldn't even tell if you weren't careful. At this rate, it probably takes quite some time before it grew big enough to let a person through. Grandfather, Gap, I need you to be our inner line of defense.
Yes, there may be goats climbing up the outer walls.
Very well. My rifle hungers for some prey. Understood. It'll be fun dropping those things into the abyss. A giant was sliced at an angle, split into 2 parts, and fell to the floor, showering with filthy dark blood and guts.
Splendidly done.
I'll let you take the next one.
Countless massive goats, which had forced their way in from rooms and windows all across the mansion, wandered about in search of something to chew. Several of the goats noticed the group of people huddled around the staircase and lumbered closer, but they were pulverized by merciless attacks. Reneva's shield easily halted the charging goats, and Vergilia's magic spears are pinning the giants against the walls. Dolanor and Will's blades were also slicing easily through goats. The pinpoint strikes of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory could pierce the vitals of and finish off any opponents, no matter how large. The Chester sisters were holding their own too, and blasted enough goats to bits with one shot from their high-caliber firearms that you couldn't count the kills with both hands. Given a little limited number of opponents, they were more than a match for these goats. However, they weren't just up against the crowd, but an entire ocean. It was like a pebble trying to face the approaching waves of a stormy sea.
Right. Hurry on! That gun bill replacement. Requesting covers for the Purgatory troops.
So, you run out of ammo, and you're nothing but rabbits. Lame!
I want to hear that from a bunch of 7 paperweights who can only kill 1 person at a time here.
Yeah, keep them coming. Don't let us get bored.
The hall was filled with massive goat corpses. As if in fear of this sight, the goats that came in one after another formed a wall, keeping their distance.
Perhaps they think they're no match for us.
I wish that were true, but it seems to be a little more than wishful thinking.
What are those guys doing? They're looking at us and whispering to each other.
Now they have the intelligence to talk together and cooperate. The goats surrounded them at a distance, whispering. They nodded at each other as though deciding on something, and the whole group stirred. What are they doing? Almost looks like they're lining up in a different order.
The enemy is changing its formation. It appears that the individuals with greater destructive power are being gathered in the front lines.
So what? Let's go!
All the sisters.
Yes,
Sama.
So close.
Wait, something's wrong.
Lucifer took aim at one of them, going for its forehead. The other 6 sisters followed her lead, trying to pierce the vital organs all over the creature's body. However, there was no sound of pierced flesh. The 7 sisters of Purgatory were knocked back, unable to cause even the smallest wound.
What? What just happened?
Those guys are talking about something.
The goats kept whispering the same thing, over and over as they slowly approached the 7 sisters. All of them whispered unanimously.
All fantasy is fictional.
The 7 Sisters of Purgatory are illusions, personifying stakes for ceremonial sacrifices.
They're actually paperweights. They're actually paperweights.
As they whispered curses that denied the 7 sisters' existences, the goats lumbered closer.
Get back, Purgatory troops! We'll cover you!
It's time you'd learned your lesson, goats!
The golden bows of the Chester troops mowed down the wall of goats with a shower of bright golden bullets. Some of the goats were torn to pieces, but some of them seemed completely unaffected. Then the goats who were uninjured all whispered at once.
The Chester Sisters' Imperial Guards have Maria's rabbit dolls as their vessels.
They're actually rabbit dolls. Maria's imagination, fantasy, beings.
All of the crimes can be explained by mystery. All fantasy is irrelevant.
Looks like.
We've got a lot of people who want to accept the existence of magic.
And that means?
No magic attacks will have any effect on them.
Does that mean all of our attacks were completely useless?
In the sign, yeah. As long as we exist, our attacks can hurt them, yeah.
Is that possible?
We'll have to test it.
Bernabé stepped forward, stamped on the floor twice, and a red barrier rose up in front of him. A crowd of goats dashed into it with a terrifying force. While some goats were blown away by it, several of them slipped right through the magical barrier.
Bernabé is a creature of magic, a creature of fiction.
Genji is Ronove's vessel. He's an imaginary version of Genji.
I see. So even my attacks will not affect some of them.
There was no longer any point in Virgilia trying out her magical spear. Some of the goats had decided that her existence was fictional. She could no longer hurt them. Even these great demons and great witches, as well as high-level furniture and weapons, were overcome with fear of the crowd that surrounded them, a crowd that would not be affected by any of their attacks.
What are we doing?
We'll keep on fighting until the end. You don't have permission to die in battle.
Fantasy is all fiction. Fantasy is all fiction. Fantasy is all fiction!
A shriek from one of the goats became a signal for the wall of them to break. They pushed forward with gaping mouths and foul breath, each trying to reach their prey first, trying to return these fictional creatures to nothingness.
Look out!
Virgilia leapt in front of and held several of the seven sisters, who had fallen on their butts, overpowered by the ferocity of the approaching goats. However, even Virgilia was a fictional character to these goats. They could chew through her like cotton candy.
Oh god, fucking Discord died on me.
Oh wow.
Madam, quickly!
Renove threw himself at the oncoming goats. Even he would be chewed apart easily. Knowing this, Renove leapt forward.
Even if my magic no longer functions, I am still fiercely passionate and a loyal man as I always was. And furthermore, did you expect that I would simply sit by and watch a lady die?
Ronabe is fantasy. Ronabe is fantasy.
Renove slammed his right fist into the side of a goat's face. As soon as he pulled it back, he swung his left leg into the goat's gut, and spun around in a reverse roundhouse that caught the goat again. Renove knew. He could do less damage than a mosquito bite against those who did not accept his existence. This is the height of anti-magic defensive power. Endless 9.
Ronove's fantasy. A fiction. An illusion.
The goat swung its log-like fist with a sound like a storm. Runaway dodged by a hair. Had he been an instant slower, that massive arm would have crushed his head like glass.
Ronave! Stop this! Run!
I, Ronade, cannot help but rise to the challenge when I see a lady in a pinch. A bad habit of mine.
Runaway grinned and tried to act tough. He already sacrificed all he had. There was nothing he could do here and now, except become a shield to buy time. He had already chosen to abandon his life for this.
Ronave is fantasy. He couldn't exist. He couldn't possibly exist.
Illusions do not exist. They do not exist.
Fantasy is all ridiculous. Ridiculous.
The goats kept coming, trying to feast on Ronave. None had any pretensions of making this a one-on-one fight. Nothing mattered except chewing apart fantasy, even just a nibble. As they gnashed those ruthless jaws and fangs, they closed in around Ronave.
Get it!
Runawave's foot hit something and he stumbled. At the same instant, several massive arms reached out and lifted him up.
Hello-sama!
What are you doing? Yes, just shoot them.
If I do anything, we would have done it already, yeah.
Everyone, please stand back! I should be able to buy you some time as they savor on my flesh. However, I think they'll find that Ronave has quite a few little bones in him!
An elbow rammed itself into the massive, hideous jaws that were trying to chew Runawave's head. Of course, the goat did moan, but this did nothing but deprive just one goat of his right to the first bite of Runawave's head. Many jaws opened wide, trying to crush him and throw him down into those heartless stomachs, which would permit no cheerful illusions to exist. Ruben next.
Won't accept fantasy. Won't accept.
It's possible to explain everything with mystery. Possible.
Fantasy is fake. Everything is a mystery.
Although the many arms that lifted Ronave up were sliced off, the Seven Sisters used this chance to fly forward and grab Ronave, dragging him back.
Which one of you mentioned mystery?
Should we cut it off there? I know you mentioned this is a good point.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Nice
Alright,
pause.
that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm good.
We're gonna have some hype next Friday. So look
How
forward
much,
to that,
next
everybody.
Wednesday?
Wednesday, that's right.
I would like to ask, unless the other people don't want to hear it, how many more sessions do you think we got in this? Are we reaching the end? Unless the others don't want to know.
Hold on, wait, okay, before we do that, really quickly. So B is going to have her mouth surgery by next Friday. So
Yeah.
would people be available for this Wednesday?
I
totally will.
I hope so.
Sure.
My work
I
schedule
want to
can
keep
be
going. I
hectic.
want to know what happens next. I want to know if Dolanor actually kicks some ass.
Alright, fair enough.
When you're asking me if I want to find out 2 days earlier, of course I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we wanted to, we could. This has been maybe a bit much. We could just do Monday and Wednesday this week as Umineko days.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sure.
I hope so.
Yeah, I could do that.
That way I can just shift around.
Now,
That way I can
hey,
just
we
shift
get in
around
two good
my
sessions.
schedule to have Friday and Sunday instead.
Yeah.
I have nothing on those days. I'm good.
We get two good
I
sessions.
should be all good.
B gets her teeth pulled.
Cool.
It is your wisdom teeth, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Oof.
See ya.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
how
those are rough.
Tomorrow we'll be back to back Umineko, I guess. Shit.
Umineko double feature.
Alrighty then.
Wait,
so
wait,
what's up with
question.
everyone?
B, When are you
Yes.
getting this surgery? Is it on Thursday or Friday?
It's on Thursday, but my wisdom tooth is very close to my job.
Ooh.
Oh, so then should I? I probably shouldn't start Undertale on that day. Well, I wasn't going to, but I need to figure out something else than doing.
I don't think I have a character immediately in Undertale. Like I think you'll be fine to
You have a
start.
little bit of wiggle room before that, or you could just do Start No More Heroes instead.
I'll
Undertale will
figure
probably
it
be
out.
faster.
I'll figure it out.
I think you'd be good to start it. I don't think I have like my character that wouldn't show up. So
Well, there is one spin-off that I am waiting for. And there's not one spin-off. There's one off that I'm planning on doing before I start Undertale.
Oh,
Okay, so
coffee
then, yeah.
talk.
No, that was Orange.
Coffee talk is gonna be is my docket, and that's gonna be a bit later.
By the way, Coffee Talk Chapter 2, totally announced, by the way.
Yeah, hold on. I will actually, me doing what I was planning on doing on Thursday relies on someone, so I will actually DM them about that.
Alrighty then, so if anybody has any thoughts, we're gonna wrap it up for today.
What was the game that used the sound effect? I've been trying the entire time to find it.
I have one note I thought was interesting, and it was I found it interesting that the meta world names were mentioned in the quote-unquote real world by Angie with the whole feathering thing, and Amakusa repeating the name. I find that quite mysterious. That is my thought.
He was just asking why she would say that in the first place.
I'm questioning how she could say it in the real world. A name that should only exist in the meta world.
Did they call Beatrice the 3-in-1 at some point?
Yeah.
Then again, it could be a pen name.
Like three
Wait, the
witches, one
3-in-1.
person, or something like that.
Shannon and Canon are a 2-in-1. Is that the third form?
Maybe.
My head hurts now.
That actually is a good. That might be a good catch.
Y'all can talk about this on your own later, because we're over a little bit, and I think Randy probably wants to get back to sleep.
I would appreciate that.
Probably.
Good night.
Alright, that's it,
Good
everybody.
night, everyone.
See you all tomorrow.
Night, Randy.
Bye-bye. Don't worry, we're gonna
See
do it
you
next
in
time,
3
Randy. It's
hours
gonna
when
be
you
great.
wake up again.
Thank you very much for following us, Evie. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.